My topic is not place making, it's place marking. Place marking, yeah. Place marking is the first step of the place making, I think. Yeah. Uh, 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 First, I'd like to say thank you for inviting me to be here to join the Urban Design Conference here. Thank you. Uh, the development of the Beijing city has progressed at an unprecedented rate for decades, as you know. And nowadays, it with the built-up area of 1,290 square kilometers. Now Beijing's built area has become one of the largest cities of the mainland China. However, the current situation of the urban space quality of Beijing city is far from satisfactory. Thank you. As you can see, there exists a large number of neglected, concealed, and forgotten spaces, which have a direct impact on spatial quality and then have generated significant problems. Just as speakers mentioned this morning, maybe you can see such kind of spaces happened in every cities, including Beijing. You can see street vending, begging, mortuary, hutong tourism, pet care on the street, rat dwelling. It means people. It means underground dwelling. Disabled group. Time-honored brand. Night market. Of course, some phenomenon or some space in southern China or in southern area is popular, but in northern China, in north area of China, you can see night market is not so popular before. Vegetable market, cemetery, public toilet. Such spaces is a kind of short boards of the city. So you can see, in spite of great achievements in the past decades, the large-scale construction in Beijing city, short boards have become obvious. So the first need to do is so-called as place marking, where and how many disadvantaged spaces are in the city. So I have researched on this field for 20 years. I have supervised graduate students to do this. There is a concept of disadvantaged spaces. Actually, it's from Beijing study. Yeah, you can see the concealed phenomenon, the sojourned, so-called sojourned or attached space, the neglected phenomenon. It's the space is dependent. It means there is no independent space for such kind of space, such kind of activities on the street. And the third one is magnetized. It means forgotten. I'd like to say something about the three typology. The first, the disadvantaged dependent spaces can be categorized into static and dynamic types. You can see some case studies. This is a case study of the street vendors. You can see the vendors on the Hutong junction. It's very active, but of course it's not. Maybe it's not as active as we imagine. Yeah, because it also it will cause so a kind of social, how to say that, conflict. Yeah, street vendor. You can see some location of the vendors. It's very smart. It doesn't like analogy we have learned in the university. Yeah, for example, this one and this one and this one. It's maybe if a student do a design like this, maybe they will fail. Junctions. There is another case study. It's about Hutong tourism. I'm not sure you took this in Beijing. Yeah, it's one of the disadvantaged spaces. The Hutong tourism consists of 4 parts, maybe. One of them is a stop. You can stop and to look at some details of the Hutong. And inside, and the guiding routes. You can take a man bicycle. Let's go to the second typology. The disadvantaged sojourner spaces. You can see the toilets. There are a lot of toilets in Beijing city. We can see the 3 types of the toilets: public toilets, independent toilets, and attached and movable. This is a research on the entrances of the toilets, interior spaces of the toilets. There is another case study of the disadvantaged spaces, wedding spaces. There are 2 areas which gathered wedding spaces. One of them is the east part of Beijing. It's on the Xidan Street. Another one is around the cathedral, Wangfujing Cathedral. So there is a process of the wedding. So you can see now some young people, Chinese young people, choose cathedral or church to have their wedding. This is the entry ceremony, outdoor activities. The third typology, the disadvantaged, marginalized spaces. You can see the example. There is a former dwelling of celebrities. Beijing is an old city. It has more than 3,000 years history and 860 years capital in Chinese history. So you can see a lot of former dwelling, former houses of celebrities. This is a contribution of the celebrities. This is a typology. The left diagram is according to the type of the culture. The right one is according to the history, the time. This is one case study. This is a former residence for Mr. Lao She. Now it's a museum. Of course, yeah, there is a problem. Yeah, you all know the demolish the cai in Chinese. Yeah, this is in construction in past decades. Can see, but now the situation is getting better. Yeah, the people calm down and think about how to make conservation works. Yeah. Some disadvantaged spaces might be related to a taboo. I'm not sure in southern China, yeah, but in northern China, you can see the cemetery is kind of taboo. So people don't want to talk about this. Even you can't know. It is difficult to know who is the architect of the cemetery in the cities of northern China. There is a research on the numbers and the location of the cemetery in Beijing. Yeah, of course you can see the old cemetery or royal cemetery is very popular in not only in Beijing but in the world. There is a cemetery, so-called as a Ming Tomb. It's one of the 6 World Cultural Heritage. So this research is, how to say, divided the cemetery phenomena as 4 types. One of them is a mortuary house. This is a house, so it's a kind of taboo. And the second one is cemetery. It's for mass. And the third one is a mausoleum. It's for memorial, maybe. And the fourth one is only one. It's a memorial hall. It's on Tiananmen Square. It's only for Chairman Mao. This is 4 kinds of cemetery. This is the popular cemetery in Beijing. In north part of Beijing, you can see the design is according to the 5 elements of the Chinese traditional philosophy. There is another disadvantaged spaces. You can see a lot of religious spaces in Beijing. Even I came to Beijing in 1980s. So, and this study is from, how to say, 15 years ago, yeah. So you can see There are more than 120 religious spaces in total in Beijing. There are 19 cathedrals. The cathedrals is always located at the center of the city. Yeah, even now you can see in Beijing, very center. Yeah, in Beijing, and 13 churches. Even the brand new church is just close to Tsinghua University, designed by GMP, yeah, Feng Dekang, a German architect, and 13 temple. Okay, yeah, the time. Yes, okay. The Taoist temple, four Taoist temples, and mostly 74 mosques. Religious spaces can be divided as core rooms, tang, and hall. Yeah, I want to find a methodology to do this. Yeah, and disadvantaged urban spaces can be divided as these two parts: dependent, sojourn, and marginalized. And this column is phenomenon. You can see social, economic, cultural, and so on, more. And that one is a discipline. So I like to. Okay, thank you. There is a matrix-based methodology for interdisciplinary study, by which the disadvantaged urban spaces were marked, identified, and defined. So this is a part of my work, my research. Actually, I also do some designs, just like Rocco's presentation this morning. Yeah, but this time I want to share my research on the disadvantaged spaces in city. Yeah. There are some publications. They are published in mainland China. You can see. And at the end, I would like to address that Hong Kong has accumulated a wealth of experience, exploring and improving urban vitality, which is worthy of study by the cities in mainland China. Actually, I have learned a lot from speakers this morning. Yeah, this morning. And I like thank you for the invitation, and especially thank you for the experts from Hong Kong, HKIUD, to contribute papers to my journal, the mainland first journal, Urban Design. Yeah, thank you. That's all.